Okay, hey everyone, and welcome to a brand new Class 66 Rocks locomotive review. Now in this review we're taking a look at a really special locomotive, not just because obviously of the livery, but because of the name, and I'll explain the connection in a minute. So without further ado, let's have a look at what we've got today then. So as we can see, today we have got the brand new Bachmann Railways Class 57 in Direct Rail Services Livery. So as we can see on the front of the box, we have the Bachmann branch line logo, and underneath that the word Model Railways and Class 57. As you can see, we've got the locomotive secured in the packaging just there. It's a 1/76th scale double O gauge model. So if we just take a look at the back in a minute, also while I'm on the front, you can see we've got the Bachmann website just there. So if we turn the box round, we can see again we've got the Bachmann logo and the address and website of the company. So if we take a look at the back now, we can see we've got a brief history about the Class 57. So I'll just bring it in a bit further so you can see some of that. As you can see. So now let's take a look at the side and see what the connection is with this model. So as we can see today, we're looking at model number 32-763, class 57-3 57309, Pride of Crewe, DRS Compass Blue. Now, the Pride of Crewe, not only is it a town close to where I live, where I do some of my footage at the station sometimes, but I also attend university in Crewe at MMU Cheshire, and the DRS yard is about 5-10 minutes away from where I'm studying as well. So I had this particular locomotive at Christmas. It was a present off my parents. I'd been after it for some time, and according to my dad when I spoke to him, he'd also had a bit of trouble getting hold of this particular one because everybody had actually sold out of it, but he managed to get it eventually. So as you can see, it's equipped with a 21-pin DCC decoder socket. So let's take it out of the packaging and have a look at it then. So we'll just take this cardboard sleeve off first, like so, and we'll just place the box down a minute, and we'll take the locomotive out. So I'm just trying to get it out. Oh, there we go. Okay, so before I show you the locomotive, let's have a look at what we get in the box then. So as we can see, it is protected in a rectangular cardboard style box. They're not as strong as the Helgen boxes, but I suppose you could use them for putting maybe locomotive packs or something in. So I'll just move this box out of the way a minute. So as you can see here, we've got the instructions for the Class 57 Cocoa diesel locomotive. So obviously we've got the information about the location and alignment of the 21-pin DCC decoder and how to fit that. We've got some part numbers on the sides just there in case you need to order any replacements. So as you can see, we've got the detailed diagram just there. And on the back we have the location of the body fixing screws, so that you can get at the chassis to fit the decoder. So as you can see, they're labelled with AA, B and B, and an A at the top just there. So as you can see, we also have information on where to fit the buffer beam pipes and other parts, etc. And again, we've got some information about body removal, decoder fitting, lighting, lubrication and buffer beam parts. So we'll keep hold of that, because we won't be detailing it obviously till we move into our new house. So the next thing that we have is the leaflet which mentions about the Bachmann Collectors Club. So at the moment I don't think we'll be joining that, but inside the leaflet we've also got warranty service request, most information about product maintenance and care, as you can see. So we might keep hold of that, we'll see. Okay, so onto the locomotive. So, as we can see, it's in the block of ice, or ice cube packaging as some people like to call it. I mean, I myself don't give it a particular name, because obviously it doesn't really make a difference what the packaging is called. It's the locomotive that's inside that's important. So we'll just take it out of this first plastic sleeve, and we'll just place the locomotive down a minute while I show you what we've got in here. Okay, so in this little pack of goodies, well, I call them goodies, but it's actually spares, I should say. We have the Bachmann Pride of Crewe etched nameplates for the locomotive. We also have some couplings, well, they're NEM couplings actually. We've got the pipework, and we've got this little rectangular part. I'm guessing this is for a tank somewhere from underneath the locomotive, if I'm guessing correctly. So that's those. So now let's take a look at the locomotive itself. So what we'll do now, we'll just take the locomotive out. So as you can see, we'll lift the flap up and we'll just gently take the locomotive away from there. Okay, so here we have it, the brand new Class 57 in DRS livery. I mean, I've got to say, from the outlook of it, it looks absolutely outstanding. It has got quite a bit of weight to it, so that's good for haulage capacity and anything else that you wish to put on the back or front of this locomotive. Now, I was thinking of using this as a freight locomotive on my new layout in the new house, but I might put it on some passenger services yet, might put it on a charter relief or something. But anyway, let's get on with the review. So let's start with the front of the locomotive. So as you can see on the front, it is extremely detailed. We've got some warning panels on the left and right hand sides. We've got some windscreen wipers, well, window wipers should I say, on the top of the windows on the left and right hand sides. Moving down, you can see we have the locomotive number on the right, 57309. On the left and right hand sides, we've got the lights for the directional travel. So I'll just zoom the camcorder in a bit better so it focuses a bit more. Now I think these, I'm not completely sure, these are Delner, used for pulling pendolinos, because I know the Class 57 Thunderbirds used to do them, the Virgin liveried ones, named after the famous Tracy brothers, I might add. So if you do know, please leave your comments below. So as you can see, we've got round sprung buffers, which is an excellent feature with Bachmann's models, and on the front we've got an NEM coupling. And also I think we might have a horn somewhere, but we've got this strange, oh no, it's not strange, it's me, that's another light on the top of there. I was going to say a strange shape then, but then I just realised it's got like an LED in the centre, so that's another light. Okay, so let's move the locomotive round to the side now. So as you can see, first off, we've got 6 wheels on either bogie, on the front and on the back. Taking a look at the sides of the model, we can see we have the locomotive number 57309. We've also got all the detailing that you would expect on a Bachmann locomotive. So like information about the diesel, I think it's like the tonnage, weight, etc. This is on every locomotive to be fair, but the writing's that small even the camcorder wasn't able to pick it up. On the sides here we've got some plastic handrails just by the cab door. And again we've got another small warning panel on the top of the locomotive there. So as you'll also see on this locomotive, we've got a thin orange line running from the front to the back. Now on the Helgen models, excuse me, you have to be careful not to touch them too much with your hands, because we once had a Class 47 and we had to actually paint the line back on because it started to fade off when you touched it. Although that was a second-hand locomotive which I purchased, but that's another story. Okay, so back on to the review of this outstanding locomotive. So moving further along, you can see we've got the Direct Rail Services compass logo on the side of the locomotive, which is printed very accurately and it's very detailed. Underneath here you can see we've got the directrailservices.com website, and we've also got some piping, is it? I'm not completely sure, but if you do know, please leave your comments below. And as you can see, we've got a small tank under here, which also, if I turn the locomotive just round there, you can see we've got control for the cab lights to be on and off, and the tail lights to be on and off. So, moving along now, as you can see, we've got the name Pride of Crewe on the back of the locomotive, and we've also got some very detailed etched fans just there, and we'll take a look at those in a moment when we get to the roof section. But like I say, the name, I just had to have this locomotive, because obviously of the connection between it was near to where I lived and I'm also at university in Crewe, so I thought why not get the locomotive that's named after the town as well. So as we can see on this side of the locomotive, again we've got the plastic handrails and the locomotive number 57309. Turning the locomotive round to the other side now, as you can see we've got the directional light at the top just there. Now I think the end we looked at previously was the back and not the front. The reason being because if I just turn the loco round, you can see we've got a driver just sat there. So this is the front of the locomotive and not the back. So excuse my previous comment when I said let's start with the front, I meant let's start with the back, and this is the front. It's just in the box the locomotive was turned the other way around. Okay, so as you can see we've got a small white handrail at the front of the loco just there. Again we've got the directional lights on the left and right hand sides, round sprung buffers, which is excellent, and again we've got this detailed pipework just here, but like I say, I'm sure this is something to do with rescuing pendolinos, but if you do know, please leave your comments below. Okay, so turning the locomotive round to this side now. So as we can see, we've got the driver just sat in there and the small window. We have the locomotive number 57309. We've got some white plastic handrails, as you can see. Again, in a minute when we take a look at the roof, we'll see the detailed fan grills. Moving across now, again we have the DRS, Direct Rail Services compass livery logo. Now I think Direct Rail Services have also altered theirs again. I think they've put on the new Class 68s and the new Class 66s, but I'm not too sure whether that's come out on a model yet, but you never know, maybe we will get one. So moving along now, again you can see we've got the directrailservices.com website and again the name Pride of Crewe, and on the back just here you can see again we've got the handrails and locomotive number. Also on the front we haven't got an NEM coupling, so obviously this locomotive will be on pulling duties mainly, but like I say, it doesn't matter whether you have it on the pulling freight duties or pushing freight duties or whatever. So let's take a look at the roof then. So starting with the front, so as you can see we've got some outstanding detail here. We've got some etched grills just on either side, and you can actually feel them if you rub your finger over them. And again we've got some fans under these etched grills here as well. Now it was a shame that these don't spin like the Hornby Class 56, I think it is. Yeah, it isn't it, the Class 56 by Hornby. Obviously theirs spin, so maybe one day Bachmann will do the same with theirs. Moving along the roof area now, as you can see we've got some more detailing as we go across top of the roof and to the back of the locomotive. So As you can see, it is a really outstanding locomotive, and I advise anyone who's into direct rail services to purchase this locomotive. You will not be disappointed. So that is it basically, the Bachmann Class 57 Pride of Crewe in Direct Rail Services Limited livery.